What's up, guys? So here's a 2017 Chevy Cruze that we're doing for CarMax. As you can see, the glass isn't broken, it's just very pitted. Customer can't see very well when they're driving at night. It's really hard to see on the camera, but the pitting is pretty bad. CarMax wants us to replace it because they sold the vehicle already. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's grab some tools. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so for the inside, first things first, we gotta separate these two cover pieces. It is two parts, so they do have like little tabs right here. Go ahead and remove that side. Then on these, there's these tabs that connect to this. So make sure we remove that. Let's unplug the mirror. Use a T15 to take it off. All you have to do is just loosen up the screw. Don't fully take it out. It's easy to get lost. Although it has this rain sensor plug in here, it's actually not a rain sensor, it's a condensation sensor for this particular model. No, it has the outlet for a rain sensor, but right now I remove it, you're gonna see it's closed off. You can't see anything from the inside. So in this particular model, it's a condensation sensor. There are other models of the Chevy Cruze that they swap it over and make this into a rain sensor. All right. First things first, let's take these cover pieces off. So the size for these, it's a size 15. For anyone wondering, most Chevy vehicles or General Motor vehicles are gonna have the exact same size. So majority of the time it's always going to be a size 15 for Chevy or General Motors vehicles. Then you could use a manual ratchet here like I did, or you could use one of the electric ones, whichever you prefer. There's a second wiper blade here, and go ahead and remove these side moldings. Side moldings are pretty easy to remove. You can see they just pop straight out. Has this like little room here where this just slides into. So very easily removed. You don't even have to force anything. Let me see. Start from either end. So So you can start from the top, or like I did on the other side, you can start from the bottom. Just don't apply too much force because you can break these here, very flimsy. And then these are just tabs. Basically just push in, and as you can see, they come out. Most of these are already broken from prior removals. See, this one is full intact. These other ones, not so much. And it is on a retainer, so you can see it's very easy to remove. You just put your hand behind it, push it straight out to separate the cowl from the retainer. That way we have the glass by itself. And just like that, the cowl is gone, moved out of place, and the glass is left on its own. Chevy's very easy to do, very easy cars. As you can see, everything around the glass has already been removed. So now comes the easy part. It's just cutting out the glass. Once again, we're going to be using our orange bat today. There are different types of methods to remove a windshield. You could choose to use a wire system similar to the orange bat, or you could choose to use what's called a cold knife. A cold knife, what it is, it's a device, an L-shaped device, something like this, and then you would just come, put it behind the glass, just come straight down, cut it all around. Only thing with cold knives is you gotta be careful. You do run the risk of potentially scratching the vehicle, and then you still have to cut the bottom where the cold knife is just not gonna reach for most cars. So you'd have to use like an extractor, something of that nature, to cut the bottom. So, I mean, we use them sometimes, depending on the cars. Sometimes that's the only choice we have. Mostly like if a glass is completely bashed in to where we can't get anything to suction to it. So those are other options that you have. So what I'm doing now is just putting the line to go around the entire glass, so that when I start cutting, the line trims the urethane between the glass and the pinch weld area of the vehicle, so that the windshield comes out intact as one single piece. And any slack that you may have, you could just pull it in. There you go, just like that. So now, as you can see, the whole line is going everywhere around the glass. So next, let's get a little handle here. Let's wind this up a little bit, just like that. that, we're gonna start winding it, start cutting the glass. You guys could see that the line is moving. That's just the urethane being cut between the glass and the pinch weld. So you don't struggle cutting the bottom if you're using an orange bat. Find it easier to change it sideways than to keep it the way I had it. I feel like it creates a little less tension on it. And always can't stress this enough. Use your dash protectors. As you can see, the line snapped. It's fine. We continue using it on the opposite side. Or this would be actually the perfect moment to show you what a cold knife does. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow the stop line as far as we could go, and then the balance of it we are going to cold knife and extract. So we're just gonna cut what we can. As a matter of fact, we're actually just gonna stop with the line here, and I'll show you guys what I mean with cold knife. My cold knife. So these lines snap all the time. They don't last forever. As you can see, this one's really worn out. I've already used it, I want to say maybe like in 7, 8 cars, which is a lot. These lines maybe cut 5, 6 cars without it ripping. Sometimes they even rip right away, so it just happens. It's normal. That's why you have a whole thing of extra line here, so you could be replacing it as soon as it snaps. Let's get that piece over there. Depending on the car that you're working on, sometimes cold knifing and extracting is a faster way. So it really depends. I use different size blades, so I don't struggle as much. If you try to go with a big blade all at once, probably creating a lot of tension on both your body and the glass. So basically, as you can see, this side's already cut, so I'm just pushing it out just so that the blade could go right behind it. See how easy it is just to push the blade through. Then I'll go behind it with a bigger size blade. And you always want to keep it 90 degrees and away from the vehicle itself, because you don't want to end up causing scratches on the paint. See, so there I went all the way to the bottom, gently remove it. and I follow with the bigger blade. Always being careful in the corners so that the blade doesn't slip and go straight into the paint in the corner. And once you can't go any further, then just go ahead and remove that blade carefully. Then check to see if it released. If it didn't, like right here, so you could see, oh, there you go, it released. As you could see, all 3/4 of the glass is now cut, so all we need is the bottom. At this point, I'm gonna use what we call an extractor. So let me go ahead and pause the video here, only so I could get the extractor set up and get a good angle for the camera. All right guys, so this is an extractor. This piece here, that's what goes between the glass and the dashboard, and the blade kind of cuts the glue in the bottom. So what you want to do is you want to wet the bottom, because it does conduct heat. So you can use water or glass cleaner, as long as it's lubricated and wet. That's what you want. Preferably water, of course. Glass cleaner dries too fast, but I forgot to bring my water bottle, so glass cleaner works just as well. It is very noisy, so bear with me. So it's already cut that corner. So as you can see here, the glass is already being cut. You could push it a good amount. When you are using these, you don't want to go too far deep, because then you will start going into the pinch weld. You'll feel once you hit the glue, and right when you pass it, that's where you want to start. See, so right here, glass is already fully cut out. I could push it out. So let's go ahead and move the camera once again. All right guys, so back to what we're doing. Glass is already cut. Let's go ahead and lower the hood right here. And then we could go ahead and remove the glass. So just like that, the glass comes off. Guess for now, we could just put it right here on the side so I make room for it. Gently against the car so it doesn't scratch it. Now it's ready to get trimmed. So let's get our trimmers over here. working on cars isn't always the easiest. Sometimes you do struggle. Sometimes you do get frustrated. You're stuck on something. It's not going out your way. Just try to push through it, find a solution. I know we're humans, errors are made. So just a matter of, if you have the right tools, you could probably find a way to either fix your mistake or be able to remove something. For instance, in my case right now, where the fiber line broke, I have tools to remove glass in other methods. I did have more wire. I could have rewired the spool and kept using it. Chose not to. Kind of wanted to show you guys other methods that you guys could also use when removing windshields. That way you guys have a broad idea of the different tools that you could buy or use. Doesn't always have to be the most expensive thing, or the newest for that matter. Cold knives have been around for ages, fairly inexpensive. You could buy a cold knife maybe for like a good one for about 50 bucks. A decent one like that silver one, you could probably get it for roughly 25-30 bucks. So you don't have to break the bank buying everything. If you're already starting off, just have, you know, limited tools, that's perfectly fine. As you get better, as you get more money, more jobs, you'll be able to buy the higher end tools that you want, that you feel comfortable with using. So it's a good idea, if you don't know, ask somebody that's in the industry. Most glass installers I find very helpful. If you have a question, they'll answer it. You know, there's a lot of work to go around for everyone, so it's not, most people, you'll find that they're willing to help or explain something or give you tips or whatever. I have many friends in the industry. I don't know it all. Sometimes when I don't know something, I'll give them a call, and if they've worked on it or they know, they'll give me an answer. So it's always good having friends in the industry, so that when you need help, you have basically a helpline. Just like that, the urethane is trimmed. We'll dust some of this dust off before we get our little blower. So let's get our blower just so that we could get more of that dust off, as you can see. So this little blower I found on Amazon, pretty useful. I like it. When it's fully charged, it is pretty strong. Once the battery's dying, you'll notice, because it's a lot less powerful, but it's cool. It's like 30-40 bucks, I think. Can't remember. Had it for a while, but it is on Amazon. As you could see, this glass cleaner is done with, but we do have another one, so we're gonna go get it right now so we could finish cleaning the opposite end over there. Keep in mind, when you're cleaning the pinch weld area, you're not necessarily cleaning everything. What you're focusing on is cleaning where the existing urethane bead was at. So if dirt remains on the outer layer where you know the glue's not going to touch, that's fine. You're not there to clean, you know, everything. Kind of just want to wipe the area where the glue is going to go, kind of have that portion of it cleaned. All right, just like that. Body of the vehicle is done. We're gonna go ahead and move on to prepping the new glass. So let's put first gloves on. And then we can proceed with removing all these tapes that they put on it at the warehouse. Just like that, all the tape is now gone. So it's time to start prepping the glass. So like I mentioned, you always want to scrub the frit area. The frit is this black portion of the glass, to remove any contaminants on it, any oils from fingertips. Maybe it's you grabbing the glass when you first pick it up without gloves, or the warehouse, they don't always wear gloves either. So you want to remove all the oily substances separated from the glass. So just scrub it pretty good. Then you want to wipe it off in a single pass so that you're not bringing any more of that nastiness back onto it. So as you can see, it's pretty dirty. Once you've scrubbed it down, I always like to give it a second pass, just to try to remove whatever was left. And as you could have seen, I sprayed the entire windshield, but you see me only cleaning the frit, and then I pass it in the center, but never going back to the edges. That way you don't bring back any of that dirt from the center back to the edges. Go ahead and remove any of the excess glue from like the tapes. There you go. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna primer the glass, basically following the same area that your old glass was on. I know sometimes it's hard to know exactly where the line's gonna be, so it is okay to go a little further down, just so you get enough spacing there. And then don't forget to primer the pinch weld area. You really only need to primer any scratches, nicks, stuff of that nature. I like to primer the whole area. Doesn't hurt. If anything, these things bond better. So just follow through the old line, the old urethane line, because that's where the new glue is going to be at. And just like that, windshield is prepped, your pinch weld is prepped, basically ready to shoot glue and set it. Now some people do hand set glass, meaning that they don't use a swivel. I do not hand set glass. I do for some, majority of them I don't, only because it strains your back, and if you don't do it properly you run the risk of scratching the vehicle, breaking the glass. So many things will go wrong. So I used what's called a little buddy. The little buddy is in here. We'll go ahead and set that up shortly. Let's just go ahead and remove and clean this glass so that when we do set our little buddy, everything suctions nicely. Because the suction cups, if the area is not clean, the suction cup will not hold. So you definitely want to clean the area. Just wipe the dirt off. Now this pass doesn't have to be a perfect clean, because we are going to clean it one last time once it's set. It's just mainly to take the majority of the dirt off. See, it's very dirty. So here are my suction cups that we're going to use on one end. So the way this works is, well, you know what, I didn't clean that side. Let me go ahead and clean it real quick. So you can see, glass is very dirty. So let's just take some of that dirt off there. And let's take a little bit of the dirt off this one too. There we go. So let's set the arm up. So what you want is the bubble on the lever to be off to the left, so that when you put the glass on there, the weight of it will kind of bring it down towards the middle. Then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna measure from here to here, because that's the distance that we're gonna put here to here, so that the arm could sit in there. So basically from there, from where the arm's gonna be, looking at about that much distance. So just hold your thumb there to measure it. And then right where you marked it with your finger is where you're gonna set your little buddy. if you're fairly new to using the little buddy, I do always recommend dry setting it first, just so you could make sure that where you set all your suction cups, like your arm, it is in the correct place. And if you need to adjust it, you could do so before you lay the glue down. Once you've shot the glue and it's on either the glass or the vehicle, you have limited time to make any adjustments, any movements. So it's a lot easier. Just dry set it before. Just make sure everything's proper where you need it to be. So we go there, set the glass down. It's exactly where we need it to be. Yep. So just like that, do a quick dry set, look it over. If the glass is where you need it to be, then you're all good. From here, just shoot your glue, set it, and then put everything back together. So our arm is definitely where we want it. That being said, let's go ahead and get ready to shoot the glue, set the glass, put it back together. And let's get ready to shoot this glue. When you're shooting urethane, you want to be consistent. You want to have the same level across the entire thing. You don't want to create any highs and lows, because then that creates pockets. Want to have everything leveled out, so you can see the whole row on the top and the sides, they all level out the same height. That's basically what you want. Have a steady hand, make it run smooth. Try not to have like a bunch of wiggly lines. I mean, it's not gonna affect it, just looks better aesthetically. And then just take your time. And we ran out of glue, so let's go ahead and put a new one in there and finish that bead off. All right, let's continue off where we left off on our bead right here. You can see we're almost done with it. We almost made it. Then close out all your seams. You don't want any water penetrating between the seams, causing water to get in. Mostly on the top, mostly on the top. On the bottom, it's just as important, but it's also the bottom, so water can't go up, gravitates down, of course. But in the bottom, what it'll do, it's going to create a air pocket, causing airflow to go through. That's how you get those air noises coming in. Then you're going crazy trying to figure out where it's coming from. It's from that, from wind tunneling through it. And just like that, glue's down, you're ready to set the glass. So give your suction cups a once over and make sure they're on there pretty good and they're not going to give out midway. you have it in a spot where you want it to be, just walk over to the opposite side and you lower this side. Put your tape on there. Double check your measurements. Make sure they're even on both sides. So on this side I have a lot more space than I did on the opposite end. They look about even now. Take a look from the inside. So the freight area here is identical to the opposite side on the passenger side. So we're all good where it's at. So now all we do, just push it down, make that connection with the glue all the way, and just like that, bada bing bada boom, your windshield is installed. Now we just do everything the opposite way and put it back together. It's really that easy, guys. Of course not all of them are this easy, but I would say majority, 80%, pretty easy to do. Domestic vehicles for sure, easy cars. If you're barely getting into doing auto glass, you're gonna definitely prefer working on domestic vehicles or foreign ones. But even then, foreign ones aren't that bad. Alright, let's go ahead and put this back in place. As you can see, that cowl just goes straight into the retainer there. Just clips in, follow through. Then you hear the little clip as you're pushing it into the retainer. There we go. There we go. One thing to keep in mind when it comes to retainers, you don't want to aggressively push too hard, because then what happens is you're gonna end up breaking the glass, because the retainer is directly attached to the glass. If you push too hard on it, or if you bang on it too hard, it will crack the glass from the bottom. You're just gonna see a straight line going across the top, because you've now cracked your new windshield. So don't be too aggressive with it. A nice firm gentle top is more than enough. Tighten up your wipers. Just like that, the outside is done. when it comes to the wiper blades, some of the glasses will have like little markings where the blades should go. If it has it, perfect, you know exactly where they go. If they don't, such in this case, always test the wiper blades before you go. Can't stress that enough. You don't want to come back because you didn't test the wiper blades and now they're hitting the side of the vehicle and causing scratches or noise or anything. It takes about 2 seconds once you're all done, so always recommend that. Always test them out. Don't just think you placed them in the correct spot and go on your way. Like I said, it takes 2 seconds to try them out before you leave. Yeah, before you tighten, make sure that's in there. Not like me where it wasn't even in. See, now it's in. All right, perfect. So now we're gonna, my bad guys, accidentally hit the top and it stopped recording here. So the cover just attached there. Very easy, just connect them both. Like I said, the mirror T15. To tighten that up, then just like that, the vehicle is done. Like I mentioned, we are going to test those wiper blades, make sure that they are in a good position so that it does not hit any of the side moldings, or even if your vehicle doesn't have side moldings, it could hit the side, start scratching the paint. You don't want any of that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the car on. And then let's spray some glass cleaner just to lubricate the glass so that the wipers aren't going on something dry. And let's test those wipers on. Perfect. You could see where the wipers stop, so we know that swiping the whole glass and it's not gonna hit anything. That's what you want. So with that being said, let's go ahead and give our glass one final wipe. Let's clean off the glass, clean off the dirt. Just like that, windshield's all done. If you stayed to the end of the video, thank you guys, appreciate you guys. Hit that follow, subscribe.